The scent of unseasoned stew and damp stone clings to my worn dress, a constant reminder of my place. Here in the great hall of the Nightfall Pack, I am less than a shadow. I am Alara, the wolfless Omega, a ghost who ladles soup and clears plates, my head perpetually bowed. To look up is to invite scorn. To be seen is to be reminded that I do not belong. My existence is a quiet apology, a silent plea to be overlooked. Tonight, the air is different, thick with anticipation, and the rich, loamy scent of the forest floor carried in on the alpha's cloaks. It is the night of the moon blessing, the one night every decade when the goddess Selene deigns to reveal the Alpha King's fated mate. Alpha King Kalen stands on the dais, a monolith of power carved from granite and fury. He is all sharp angles and imposing presence, his scent, a dizzying storm of pine and cold winter frost that makes the air crackle. I have served him his meals for years, my hands trembling each time I approach the high table, careful to never meet his eyes. To me, he is not a man, but a force of nature, as distant and as dangerous as a blizzard. My own scent is so faint it barely exists, a whisper of chamomile and rain, easily lost in the cacophony of powerful wolves. It is the scent of nothing, the scent of no one. The high priestess begins the ancient chant, her voice a reedy thread weaving through the hall's oppressive silence. The massive skylight, usually shuttered, is open to the heavens, and a perfect silver disk of a moon hangs directly above. All eyes are on Kalen, waiting. He stands impassive, his jaw set, ready to receive the goddess's blessing and the Luna who will secure his lineage. Beside him, Lyra, a highborn beta with a scent of cloying rosewater, places a proprietary hand on her swollen belly. The pack murmurs its approval. A strong beta, already carrying a potential heir. A practical, powerful choice. She is everything I am not. The moonlight begins to coalesce, pouring down from the sky not as gentle light, but as a solid, shimmering column. It strikes Kalen, and a collective gasp ripples through the crowd. He is bathed in divine silver, his dark hair seeming to catch the light and hold it. His head snaps up, his eyes, the color of chips of ice, scanning the room with a sudden, predatory urgency. For a horrifying, heart-stopping moment, his gaze sweeps past me, and I feel a jolt, a spark of impossible energy that has nothing to do with the ceremony. My breath catches in my throat. Then his eyes snap back. They lock onto mine. The world dissolves into a tunnel of searing intensity. Just him and me. The scent of pine and frost is no longer just in the air. It is inside me, flooding my senses, overwhelming the bland smell of stew and servitude. It wraps around my soul, a possessive claiming force. From the deepest, most dormant part of my being, a place I never knew existed, a single, primal thought erupts, hot and undeniable. Mate. A gasp escapes my lips, loud in the sudden ringing silence. From the dais, a visible thread of golden light, spun from pure moonlight, unspools from Kalen's chest and lances across the hall, connecting directly to mine. It is real. Everyone sees it. The goddess has made her choice. Hope, a terrifying and beautiful monster, unfurls its wings in my chest, and for the first time in my life, I feel seen. I am not nothing. I am his. Kalen's face is a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. His eyes widen, not with love or recognition, but with disbelief and disgust. He looks at me, the scullery maid in her threadbare dress, the wolfless Omega, and then his gaze shifts to Lyra, to her pregnant belly, to the expectant faces of his council. I see the war in him, the primal instinct of the bond warring with the cold, hard logic of a king. Duty, strength, lineage. I am a liability, a weakness, a mistake. The hope in my chest withers, turning to ash. The golden thread connecting us flickers, as if sensing his rejection. His inner wolf might be screaming for me, but the Alpha King has already made his decision. Pride is a stronger master than fate. No. Kalen's voice booms, a crack of thunder that shatters the sacred silence. The word is a physical blow. He turns his back on me, a deliberate, brutal gesture that severs the visual connection, but not the searing pain. He takes Lyra's hand, lifting it high for the pack to see. The goddess is mistaken, an illusion. My loyalty is to the strength of this pack. I choose my Luna. I choose Lyra, and the air she carries for our people. Letra's triumphant smirk is the last thing I see before the pain hits. It is not emotional. It is a visceral, tearing agony. The golden thread between us does not fade. It shatters into a million incandescent shards of glass that slice through my soul. I scream, a raw animal sound of pure torment, and collapse to the stone floor. The scent of pine and frost is now laced with the acrid stench of betrayal. The bond, so new and bright, is broken. The public humiliation is complete. The entire pack, my pack, stares at me, not with pity, but with contempt, for being the source of the king's displeasure. I am a flaw in their perfect world, a stain to be removed. Through the shimmering haze of my tears and the blinding pain, I see Kalen approach. He stops a few feet away, his face carved from ice. There is no remorse in his eyes, only cold, hard duty. He is erasing his mistake. "You are a disruption," he says, his voice devoid of any emotion. "A ghost in the machine of this pack. You have no place here. You are banished. Be gone by sunrise." Banishment is a death sentence. No lone wolf, especially a wolfless Omega, can survive in the wild. He is not just casting me out, he is condemning me. He turns without another word, presenting his back to me one final time, and returns to the dais. He pulls Lyra into his arms, kissing her for the entire pack to see, sealing his choice, sealing my fate. The pack roars its approval, their cheers drowning out the sound of my heart, my soul, my entire world breaking apart on the cold, unforgiving stone. The guards do not even have to drag me. I crawl out of the great hall on my hands and knees, the laughter and celebration a roaring inferno at my back. I stumble through the pack house, a place that was never a home, but was at least a shelter, and no one meets my eye. I am already dead to them. I have nothing to pack, nothing to take. I am leaving with the same nothing I have always owned, except now I am also carrying the jagged edges of a shattered bond inside my chest. I do not wait for sunrise. I run. I flee into the suffocating darkness of the forest, the branches clawing at my face like the pack's scorn. Each step is a fresh wave of agony as the distance between me and my broken mate grows. The cold night air burns my lungs, but the cold in my soul is infinitely worse. He cast me out. He chose another. He humiliated me in front of the world. And the most twisted part of it all is the small, treacherous voice of the bond that even now, broken and bleeding, whispers his name into the dark. Kalen. The forest is a living entity of teeth and shadows. Every snap of a twig is a feral creature stalking me. Every gust of wind sounds like the mocking laughter from the great hall. For days, I wander, fueled by a grief so profound it numbs the hunger in my belly and the biting cold in my bones. The pain of the rejected bond is a constant physical presence. It is a hollow ache in the center of my chest, a phantom limb that perpetually throbs. Sometimes it sharpens into a blade, twisting with such intensity that it drops me to my knees, a gasp tearing from my throat. It is the feeling of being halved, of a vital part of my own soul existing somewhere else, in contempt of me. I forage for berries that are bitter on my tongue and drink from streams so cold they make my teeth ache. I sleep in hollow logs, curled into a tight ball, shivering from more than just the dropping temperatures. I am prey. I can scent the feral wolves, the lone hunters cast out from other packs for their crimes, and their scents are of rot and ravenous hunger. They are drawn to my weakness, to the scent of my despair. I spend my nights listening to their howls, my heart hammering against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat counting down my last moments. One night, huddled beneath the roots of a great oak as freezing rain soaks through my thin dress, I hit the bottom. The hunger is a gnawing beast inside me. The cold has seeped into my very marrow. The pain of the bond is a relentless tormentor, whispering of his warmth, his strength, his scent of pine and winter. It whispers of everything I can never have. It would be so easy to just stop, to lie down in the mud and the rain and let the cold take me, to let the ferals find me, to simply cease to exist. Death feels like a mercy, a gentle release from this unending suffering. My eyes drift closed. The forest floor is surprisingly soft. The rain sounds like a lullaby. Peace begins to settle over me, a dangerous, seductive calm. This is the end. And then something shifts. Deep within the hollow space in my chest, a flicker. It is not the bond. It is something else, something ancient and mine. A spark of defiance in the face of absolute despair. A voice, not my own, but from within me, whispers a single, guttural word. Survive. My eyes snap open. The word echoes in the core of my being. It is not a plea. It is a command. It is a raw, primal instinct I did not know I possessed. It is the first stirring of a beast I was always told I lacked. My wolf, or something like it. Anger, hot and pure, surges through me, chasing away the cold. Anger at Kalen for his cruelty. Anger at the pack for their scorn. Anger at myself for almost giving up. I will not die here. I will not die a forgotten, wolfless omega in the mud. I push myself up, my limbs screaming in protest. The rain plasters my hair to my face, but I bare my teeth at the howling wind, a silent promise to the uncaring forest. He may have cast me out, but he does not get to decide if I live or die. I will survive. I will endure. And one day, I will be more than just the girl he threw away. That spark of defiance becomes a flame, a tiny, precious fire in the frozen wasteland of my soul. It is not much, but it is enough. It is a beginning. 3 years is a lifetime. 3 years of hunger, of cold, of being hunted. 3 years of listening to that quiet, insistent voice inside me. Survive. Stronger. Keep moving. The pain of the bond never leaves, but it changes. It is no longer a blade of fresh grief, but a whetstone against which I sharpen my will. The memory of Kalen's face, the ice in his eyes, the triumph in Lyra's, becomes fuel. I do not run from the ferals anymore. I learn their patterns. I learn to hide, to climb, to set crude traps. I learn to kill rabbits with sharp stones, to skin them with shards of flint. I become as wild and as tough as the forest that was meant to be my grave. My journey takes me north, across jagged mountains and through desolate swamps. I am following a pull I do not understand, a sense of sanctuary that lies somewhere beyond the horizon. One day, after months of relentless travel, I stumble out of a dense, fog-choked forest and into a valley bathed in impossible sunlight. The air here is different. It smells of warm stone, sun-baked earth, and a strange, clean energy that soothes the constant ache in my chest. This is the Sunstone Valley, a place of myth, home to a pack thought to be extinct for centuries. The Sunstone Pack finds me collapsed at their border, delirious and starved. They are unlike any shifters I have ever seen. Their eyes hold a golden light, and their presence feels like the warmth of the sun on your skin. They are wary, their scents a mix of caution and curiosity. They bring me to their leader, an elder named Anya. Her face is a map of wrinkles, her eyes the color of molten gold, and she gazes at me with an unnerving wisdom. She does not see a pathetic, wolfless Omega. Her gaze seems to pierce right through my skin, to the flickering flame I have nurtured in my soul. "You have a shadow over your heart, child," she says, her voice like the rustle of dry leaves. "But there is a fire in you as well, a sleeping sun." They take me in. They give me food and a place to sleep, but they offer no pity. Here, worth is earned. They give me a training knife and point me toward the practice yard. The first few weeks are brutal. I am weak, clumsy. The pack's warriors, both male and female, toss me around like a sack of grain. But I do not quit. Every time I am knocked down, I get back up. The memory of the great hall floor under my palms a burning motivator. Ronan, the pack's beta, becomes my reluctant trainer. He is steady and patient, his scent of warm earth and sunshine a calming balm to my frayed nerves. He teaches me footwork, how to hold a blade, how to use an opponent's weight against them. He teaches me to fight. Slowly, I transform. The soft, useless girl who served stew is buried under layers of hard-won muscle and calloused skin. I learn to hunt with the pack, my senses, long dulled by servitude, sharpening to a razor's edge. I learn their ways, their connection to the sun, their belief that all power comes from within, not from a bloodline. I learn to stand tall, to meet others' gazes, to speak with a voice that does not tremble. I am not an Omega here. I am not wolfless. I am just Ilara, a survivor. And for the first time, that feels like enough. The day of the solar eclipse is a sacred time for the Sunstone Pack. They gather in a stone circle at the highest point of the valley to meditate, to draw in the sun's waning power. As the moon begins to slide across the face of the sun, casting the valley in an eerie twilight, a strange energy begins to thrum through me. It starts in my chest, at the sight of that first spark of defiance, and spreads like wildfire through my veins. The pain of the broken bond flares, hotter than it has in years. But this time, it is different. It is not just pain, it is pressure, a building force demanding release. I cry out, falling to my knees as the last sliver of sun disappears, and the world is plunged into midday darkness. A searing heat explodes from my core. It is an agony that dwarfs even the memory of Kalen's rejection, but it is a cleansing fire. It is not breaking me, it is reforging me. I feel my bones shifting, reshaping. The pack gasps, their golden eyes wide with shock and awe. Anya is chanting, her voice rising to a crescendo. A howl rips from my throat, a sound I have never made, a sound I was told I was incapable of. It is not the howl of a common wolf. It is clear and pure and powerful. filled with the silver light of the moon itself. The transformation is excruciating, but swift. When the light returns, I am no longer on my knees as a human. I stand on four paws, my body sleek and powerful. I am a wolf, but not just any wolf. My fur is not brown or black or gray. It is the color of spun moonlight, a luminous, ethereal silver that seems to glow with its own inner light. I look at my reflection in a polished standing stone and see eyes that are no longer a plain, fearful brown, but pools of liquid silver. I am not wolfless. I was never wolfless. I am a lunar wolf, a creature of legend, a myth made flesh. My power was never absent. It was dormant, bound by the rigid hierarchy of the Nightfall Pack and waiting for the right catalyst, the breaking of one bond and the forging of a new self, to awaken. In that moment, I understand. My lineage is not one of weakness, but of immense, forgotten power. A power tied not to a pack, but to the goddess herself. I can feel her now, a gentle, humming presence in the back of my mind, a quiet approval. My daughter. The whispers of my inner beast are no longer faint. She is awake, she is me, and she is magnificent. The revelation changes everything. I am no longer Ilara, the refugee. I am Ilara, the moon-touched, the sunstone pack, who revere the balance of sun and moon. Look at me with a newfound reverence. My silver fur and unique abilities, which soon manifest, become a symbol of hope for them. I find I can soothe the most agitated beast with a touch, that my presence can hasten the healing of wounds. In the moon's light, I am faster and stronger than any wolf in the pack. I am their protector, their guardian, a living bridge between the celestial bodies they worship. Anya and Ronan help me hone my new abilities. I learn to wield my power, to call upon the moon's energy, to listen to the whispers of the wild. I lead the hunts, my preternatural senses guiding us. I defend our borders, my silver form a terrifying specter to any intruders. I earn my place not through birth or fate, but through strength and dedication. I have a home, I have a family, I have power. I am no longer the girl who begged for a scrap of belonging. I am a woman who commands respect. The constant ache in my chest remains, a ghostly scar, but it no longer defines me. It is just a part of my past, a past I have finally outrun. Or so I believe. My wolf howls. She howls for her. The sound is not made with my throat, but with my soul, a constant, grating scream of agony and loss that has been my only companion for 3 years. Mate, ours, find her. The words are a vicious, unending chorus clawing at the inside of my skull. I am Kalen, Alpha King of the Nightfall Pack, and I am living in a hell of my own making. My hand tightens on the arm of my throne, the carved wood groaning under the pressure. Below me, the pack goes about its business, but the energy is wrong. The vitality is gone. It has been gone since the night I broke us. The rejection of a fated bond is not a clean cut. It is a festering wound that poisons everything. It poisoned me, and through me, it is slowly killing my pack. I have not had a full night's sleep in 3 years. I lie on my furs, and all I can smell is the ghost of her scent, chamomile and rain, a scent I barely registered when she was here, but which is now seared into my memory. My wolf paces the cage of my mind, relentlessly, endlessly, wearing down my sanity. Food is tasteless, victories are hollow. My alpha power, once an unshakable mountain, now flickers like a dying candle flame. My commands sometimes lack their usual bite, and I see the flicker of doubt in my warrior's eyes. Lyra sits beside me, her scent of roses now a cloying, sickly sweet perfume that grates on my senses. She gave me an heir, a boy named Marcus. He is a fine, healthy wolf, but he is not the child of my fated mate. He carries no special power. He is simply a wolf, a symbol of my pragmatic, disastrous choice. Lyra knows something is wrong. She sees the distance in my eyes, feels the lack of heat in my touch. She thinks it is the pressure of being king. She has no idea that every moment I spend with her is a betrayal to the half of my soul I threw away. My wolf hates her. Wrong. Not her. Not mate. The torment is my penance. I deserve it. I see her face in my dreams, the look of utter devastation as the bond shattered. I hear her scream. I feel the echo of her pain, a constant, dull throb that mirrors the howling of my own beast. I was a fool, a proud, arrogant fool. I saw a wolfless omega, a political inconvenience, and I threw away the goddess's greatest gift. I chose duty over destiny, and my punishment is to rule over a kingdom that is slowly turning to dust in my hands, forever haunted by the ghost of the woman who should be my queen. The worst part is the not knowing. Is she alive? Did she survive the wilderness I condemned her to? The thought that she might be dead, that I might have killed her, is a torment worse than any other. Find her, my wolf growls, a low, guttural promise of violence if I continue to fail him. Find our mate, Ilara. Her name is a prayer and a curse on my lips. I am the Alpha King, a being of immense power, and I am being brought to my knees by the memory of a girl I deemed worthless. The irony is a blade that twists in my gut every single day. In the sun-drenched valley, my life finds a new rhythm. It is a rhythm of peace, of purpose. A large part of that peace is Ronan. He is the antithesis of the storm that was Kaelin. Where Kaelin was ice and command, Ronan is earth and patience. He never pushes, never demands. He simply is. A steady presence at my side, a warm smile, a hand on my shoulder when the shadows of my past grow too long. His scent of sunshine and rich soil is grounding, a constant reminder that I am here, now, in a place of safety. You're thinking of him again, he says one evening. We are sitting on a ridge overlooking the valley, watching the sun bleed orange and purple across the sky. He does not say Kaelin's name. He never does. It's not a thought, I reply, my voice quiet. It's a scar. It always aches before a storm. Ronan nods, his golden eyes filled with an understanding that asks for no explanation. Scars remind us we survived. He gently takes my hand, his fingers warm and calloused, lacing through mine. It is a simple gesture, but it feels more real than any grand pronouncement. There is no searing jolt of a fated bond, no possessive claim. There is only warmth, comfort, and choice. He makes it clear, in 100 small ways, that he wants me. He leaves a rare sun-petal flower on my doorstep. He saves the best cut of meat for me after a hunt. He spars with me for hours, pushing me to be stronger, his pride in my progress genuine and freely given. He represents a future I never thought possible, a peaceful life, a chosen love, a family built on respect, not on a chaotic, demanding fate. He is the safe harbor to my storm-tossed past. And though my inner wolf still holds a primal, painful loyalty to the one who broke her, my human heart yearns for the peace Ronan offers. She sees him as a friend, a pack mate. Not mate, she grumbles quietly, a low rumble of discontent. But she is quieter these days. soothed by the valley's calm. Perhaps I think this is what healing feels like, choosing a quiet love over a destructive destiny. The first reports are whispers on the wind, carried by frantic birds and panicked rogues fleeing the northern territories. Something is moving in the shadows, something ancient and hungry. Then, the first body is found on the edge of the Blackwood, a pack bordering Kalen's lands. The wolf is desiccated, a dried husk, his life force seemingly vacuumed from his body. The scent left behind is one of old dust, deep earth decay, and a chilling, profound emptiness. The Shadow Weavers. They are creatures from bedtime stories, formless beings of darkness that feed on the life force of shifters, drawn to power like moths to a flame. They have not been seen in centuries. Their re-emergence sends a ripple of fear through all the packs. The attacks become more frequent, more brazen. They strike at the edges of territories, dragging lone sentries into the darkness, leaving nothing but drained corpses behind. They are a tide of creeping dread, an enemy that cannot be fought with tooth and claw. Kalen's pack is hit the hardest. His weakened kingdom, already unstable from his broken bond, is a prime target. His warriors are strong, but their morale is low, and their alpha's fractured spirit leaves them vulnerable. The Shadow Weavers sense the discord, the weakness, and they press their advantage. Kalen's lands begin to shrink, his people living in a constant state of fear. The reports that reach our valley are grim. The great Alpha King, the one who cast me out for being a weakness, is failing. His pack is bleeding, and he is powerless to stop it. A grim, bitter satisfaction flickers within me, but it is quickly extinguished by a deeper, more urgent fear. These creatures are drawn to power, and I, the last lunar wolf, am a beacon of power unlike any other. Sooner or later, the shadows will turn their hungry eyes toward my sun-drenched home. The summons comes on the wind, a formal call carried by the fastest envoys from a neutral pack. A grand council is to be held. Every alpha from every surviving pack is called to attend, to form a united front against the encroaching darkness. The Sunstone pack has remained hidden for centuries, but Anya knows that hiding is no longer an option. The Shadow Weavers are a threat to all life. "You must go, Ilara," she says, her golden eyes serious. They will not listen to an old woman they thought was a ghost, but they will listen to the moon-touched guardian. You are the living embodiment of a power they have forgotten. You will speak for the Sunstone Pack. Ronan and a cadre of our 5 strongest warriors are to accompany me. The thought of leaving the valley fills me with anxiety, but the thought of facing him again is a cold knot of dread in my stomach. 3 years. I have built a new life, a new self. I am not the broken girl who fled in the night. I am an alpha in my own right, a leader, a warrior. I repeat this to myself like a mantra as we travel. My silver wolf, a silent, powerful presence beneath my skin. We are not weak. He has no power over us. The council is held in the Ironwood Glade, a neutral territory of ancient, petrified trees. As we arrive, I can feel the tension, a thick miasma of fear and aggression from the assembled packs. I dismount from my horse, Ronan at my side, our warriors fanning out behind us. I pull the hood of my cloak down, and a wave of gasps ripples through the clearing. My silver-white hair, a mark of my lunar heritage, even in human form, seems to capture the dim light. My scent, Now a powerful and distinct fragrance of night-blooming jasmine and clean moonlight announces my presence before my name is even spoken. Then I see him. He stands near the central council stone, surrounded by his guards. He looks diminished. The raw, indomitable power I remember is frayed at the edges. There are shadows under his eyes, and his face is leaner, harsher. But he is still Kalen. The scent of pine and winter frost hits me, and despite myself, my breath catches. It is the scent of my deepest wound. His head snaps up as if he felt my presence. His icy eyes scan the new arrivals, and then they land on me. He freezes. Time seems to stop. The cacophony of the glade fades into a dull roar. I see the shock on his face, the utter disbelief. He is not looking at the Omega he banished. He is looking at a woman flanked by warriors, her posture radiating a quiet, unshakable authority. He is looking at a ghost he thought long dead, returned as a queen. The moment our eyes lock, the world explodes. The dormant, scarred bond between us ignites with the force of a supernova. It is not a gentle warmth. It is a violent, excruciating conflagration. For me, it is the old, soul-deep agony mixed with the fierce, protective power of my wolf. He who broke us, she snarls in my mind, a wave of fury rising within me. He who made us suffer. The urge to lash out, to show him the pain he caused, is a physical force. For him, I can see it on his face. It is something else entirely. It is a tidal wave of relief so profound it almost brings him to his knees, followed by a tsunami of self-loathing and desperate, agonizing hope. His nostrils flare, taking in my scent, and his eyes, those chips of ice, seem to melt, to plead. His wolf, I can feel it even from across the glade, is howling his victory and his despair. Mate, she is alive. Mate! I break the gaze first, tearing my eyes away with a force of will that leaves me trembling. I turn to Ronan, anchoring myself to his steady presence, his scent of warm earth a shield against the blizzard of Kalen's. I give a curt nod to the Alpha hosting the council and move toward the seat designated for the Sunstone representative, my movements stiff and controlled. I can feel Kalen's eyes on me, a burning weight on my back. The battle has not even begun, and I am already fighting a war on a front I thought I had long since abandoned. The council meeting is a chaotic mess of posturing and fear. Alphas roar and beat their chests, each proposing a strategy that protects their own territory while offering little in the way of a unified solution. I remain silent, listening, my patience wearing thin. Finally, the host Alpha turns to me. "You are the one they call the moon-touched guardian," he says, his tone a mixture of skepticism and awe. "The Sunstone Pack has been a myth for generations. What knowledge do you bring?" I stand, my voice clear and steady, betraying none of the turmoil raging within me. "The Shadow Weavers are not an army to be fought, but a plague to be cleansed," I begin. "They are drawn to the discord among us as much as to our individual power. They feed on fear. Your strategies of isolated defense are precisely what will doom us all." I outline a plan for coordinated strikes, for using lures and magical wards that the Sunstone Pack has preserved. I speak of the Weaver's weaknesses, of their connection to celestial cycles. My voice carries an authority that silences the bickering alphas. I am not offering an opinion. I am stating facts. Throughout my speech, I am acutely aware of Kalen. He watches me, his expression a raw, open wound. He is not looking at a strategist. He is looking at the woman he threw away, a woman who now holds the key to their collective survival. The bitter irony is a taste I am sure we both share. When I finish, a murmur of respect goes through the crowd. My plan is sound, my knowledge undeniable. After the council breaks for the evening, he approaches. I feel him coming before I see him, the air growing colder, the scent of pine more intense. Ronan instinctively steps closer to me, a silent, protective barrier. Ilara. Kalen's voice is a raw, gravelly thing, a sound I have not heard in 3 years. It sends an involuntary shiver down my spine. I turn slowly, schooling my features into a mask of cold indifference. Alpha Kalen, I say, my tone formal, clipped. I give him the title, creating a chasm between the king on the dais and the girl on the floor. Do you have a question regarding the proposed strategy? The professionalism of my question seems to stun him. He flinches as if struck. Strategy? Ilara, He takes a step closer, his hand half reaching for me before he lets it drop. I thought you were dead. Your assumptions have never been a reliable source of information, I reply, my words as sharp and cold as shards of ice. I see the hurt flash in his eyes, and a cruel, satisfied part of me rejoices in it. Let him feel a fraction of the pain I endured. If you have nothing further to add to the War Council, I have matters to discuss with my own pack. I turn my back on him, a mirror of the gesture he made to me all those years ago, and walk away. Ronan falls into step beside me, his presence a solid wall. I do not look back, but I can feel Kalen's gaze burning into me, a desperate, hopeless plea in the gathering dark. The power dynamic has been utterly, completely inverted. He is now the one left standing alone in the cold, and I am the one with the power to walk away. The victory feels bitter and hollow. The Council's decision is unanimous. An alliance is our only hope. A joint war camp is to be established in a defensible valley nestled between our territories. This means I will be forced to work with him, daily. The prospect fills me with a stomach-churning mix of dread and a dangerous, unwelcome anticipation. My wolf, who had been quieted by my cold dismissal of him, is now pacing again. Hours. Close. Stay close. I fight her down, smothering the instinct with layers of anger and resolve. The war camp is a hive of activity, a tense melting pot of rival packs forced into cohabitation. I command my Sunstone warriors with crisp efficiency, setting up our section of the camp, establishing wards, and organizing patrols. I move with purpose, avoiding him, creating a bubble of professionalism around myself that he dares not breach. But his presence is a constant, low-grade hum beneath the surface of everything. I catch his scent on the wind. I see him across the training grounds, his movements sluggish, his eyes always finding me. He looks like a man being haunted, and I know I am his ghost. The proximity is torture for us both. The bond, reignited and raw, crackles in the air between us. It is a live wire, sparking with 3 years of pain, regret, and a primal, undeniable longing. I feel his despair like a physical weight, a sorrow so profound it seeps into the earth. My wolf grieves for his, feeling its lonely, desperate howls echo in the space between our souls. But my human heart, the one that remembers the cold stone floor and the mocking laughter, remains encased in ice. One night, I am returning from a late-night patrol on the camp's perimeter. The moon is high and full, bathing the valley in its silver light, and my power thrums beneath my skin. I feel strong, alive. And then he is there, stepping out from the shadows of the armory, blocking my path. His face is haggard in the moonlight. "We need to talk," he says, his voice low and urgent. "We have nothing to talk about," I retort, trying to step around him. He moves with me, a silent, desperate plea. "Please, Ilara, just listen. That is all I ask." Something in his tone, the complete absence of the alpha command I was used to, makes me pause. I cross my arms, my stance defensive, but I do not walk away. He does not make excuses. He does not blame his duty, or Lyra, or the pressure from his council. He just looks at me, his eyes filled with a torment that seems to have aged him a decade. "There has not been a day, not a single hour, in the last 3 years that I have not regretted what I did," he begins, his voice cracking. "My wolf has been screaming your name since the moment you left. He has turned on me, Ilara. He punishes me every waking moment for my failure, for my weakness." He takes a ragged breath. "I was a coward. I was terrified. The prophecy spoke of a powerful Luna who would secure my reign, and the goddess gave me you, a gentle soul in a world that valued only brutality. I saw you, and I saw my own downfall. My pride, my idiotic, arrogant pride, would not let me accept the gift I was given. I chose a symbol of strength over the other half of my soul." His words are a relentless assault on the fortress I have built around my heart. Every sentence is a confirmation of the pain I endured, an admission of his fault. He is not trying to win me back. He is confessing. "I do not ask for your forgiveness," he continues, his voice dropping to a raw whisper. "I know I do not deserve it. I can never erase the pain I caused you. I can never give you back the years you lost. I needed you to know. I needed you to know that I see you now. I see the queen you have become, the queen you always were, and I know what I threw away." Then he does something that shatters the last of my composure. Kalen, the alpha king of all packs, the most powerful wolf on the continent, sinks to his knees in the dirt before me. He bows his head, and with a slow, deliberate movement, he tilts his neck to the side, baring his throat. It is the ultimate act of submission, an offering of his life, an abdication of all power, all pride. "My life is yours, Ilara," he murmurs, his eyes closed. "It has been yours since the moment I first saw you. Take it or spare it. My forgiveness is yours to withhold forever. I ask for nothing. I will live with the consequences of my choice. I just couldn't live with you thinking I didn't know I had made it." The air stills. My breath is trapped in my lungs. My wolf is silent, stunned. Before me kneels the man who broke me, offering me the ultimate power over him, not as a tactic, but as a penance. The ice around my heart does not melt, but it cracks, a deep, painful fissure running right through it. From the shadows near the mess hall, I see a figure retreat, a figure whose scent of warm earth I know as well as my own. Ronan, he saw. He saw it all. My heart sinks. Later, when the camp is asleep and Kalen is long gone, Ronan finds me by the stream that runs through the valley. He does not look angry or betrayed. He just looks sad. "I saw him," he says quietly, his voice gentle. "With you." I cannot find the words to respond. An apology feels like a lie, an explanation like an excuse. He steps closer, and for a moment, I think he might touch me, but he stops, keeping a respectful distance. "That bond between you, it is a storm, a hurricane of pain and power and destiny that will never truly be calm." I have watched you, Ilara. I have watched you fight it, deny it, and build a new life in spite of it. And I have loved you for it. His admission hangs in the cool night air. My love for you, he continues, a wry, sad smile touching his lips, is a quiet harbor. I could give you peace. I could give you safety. But you were not born for a quiet harbor, Ilara. You are a child of the moon, a queen of the storm, and I will not be the man who asks you to be smaller than you are, just to fit into my world. He is letting me go. He is seeing the truth I have been trying to deny, the truth that Kalen's submission laid bare. The bond is not a scar. It is a living, breathing part of me. He may not deserve you, Ronan says, his golden eyes meeting mine with profound kindness. But he is your destiny. My place is here, with my pack. And my heart will always be your friend, if you will have it. He gives me a small, final bow, a gesture of respect and farewell, and walks away, leaving me alone with the moon, my choices, and the deafening sound of my own fractured heart. Ronan's graceful exit is a gift, but it is also a burden. He has removed the option of a safe, peaceful future, leaving me with only the terrifying, uncertain path forward. The final battle begins not with a roar, but with a betrayal. The Shadow Weaver's assault on the camp is sudden and overwhelming, a tide of black mist and silent, grasping tendrils that pour down the valley slopes under the cover of a new moon. They are stronger, more coordinated than before. In the heart of the chaos, their leader emerges, a coalesced being of pure darkness, its form vaguely wolf-like, but immense, its presence a vortex that sucks the warmth and life from the air. Its focus is singular. It is fixed on me. The lunar blood, it hisses, its voice a dry rustle of dead leaves and grave dust. It will be mine. Your light will fuel our eternal night. As the warriors of the allied packs rally to fight back the tide of lesser weavers, I prepare to face the leader. But a commotion near the eastern flank distracts me. It is Lyra. She is screaming, pointing at me, her face contorted with years of festering jealousy and fear. She is the one you want, she shrieks at the Weaver leader. Take her. She is the source of the power. Take her and leave us in peace. A group of Nightfall warriors loyal to her tried to seize me, to offer me up as a sacrifice. Before they can reach me, Kalen and his own loyal guard intercept them. He does not even look at Lyra. His eyes are only for me and for the monstrous shadow creature advancing on my position. The look on his face is not one of a king or a strategist. It is the raw, primal look of a male protecting his mate. The Weaver leader ignores the lesser squabbles of the wolves. It lunges, not with claws, but with a bolt of pure shadow energy. A lance of anti-life aimed directly at my heart. There is no time to dodge, no time to raise a shield of my own. I brace for the impact, for the cold, draining end. But the blow never lands. Kalen moves faster than I have ever seen him move. He throws himself in front of me, his body a living shield. The bolt of darkness strikes him square in the chest. He cries out, a sharp, guttural sound of agony, and the scent of pine and frost is suddenly tainted with the foul stench of decay. He stumbles back, his eyes wide with shock, a web of black, necrotic veins spreading from the impact point across his chest. The wound is not physical, it is spiritual. The Weaver's magic is devouring his life force from the inside out. He collapses to his knees, his strength failing. Yet, even as he falls, his eyes are on me, filled not with regret for his sacrifice, but with a fierce, burning relief that I am safe. It was not a calculated move. It was not a plea for forgiveness. It was pure instinct. Protect. Ours. Protect. For the first time, his heart and his wolf are in perfect, selfless unison. Seeing him fall, seeing him sacrifice himself for me without a moment's hesitation, breaks something open inside me. The last of my carefully constructed walls, the final sheet of ice around my heart, shatters into a million pieces. All the bitterness, all the anger, all the pain of the last 3 years evaporates in a rush of overwhelming, agonizing love. My human mind, which had clung to its righteous anger, and my inner wolf, who had never given up on him, finally speak with one voice. Ours. Heal him. Claim. I have made my choice. Not because he knelt, not because he begged, but because in this one, final, selfless act, he proved he was the man worthy of the bond. He was the mate my soul had been crying for. I rushed to his side, dropping to my knees in the blood-soaked mud. The black veins are spreading across his skin, his breathing growing shallow, the light in his eyes dimming. The Weaver leader looms over us, savoring its victory. It has struck down the Alpha King, and its true prize is now defenseless. It could not be more wrong. I choose you, Kaelin. I whisper, my voice thick with tears. I place my hands over his chest, over the dying heart of our bond. I don't just push my power into the wound. I push my very essence, my soul, my acceptance into the broken, frayed thread that still connects us. I choose you, then, now, and always. The bond, which had been a source of agony for so long, snaps into place. It is not a gentle reconnection. It is a cataclysm. A blinding flash of silver and gold light erupts from us, throwing the Weaver leader back. A wave of power, so immense it shakes the very foundations of the valley, floods my being. It is his raw, untamed alpha strength, the power of the earth and the storm, now intertwined and magnified by my celestial lunar magic, the power of the tides and the moon. We are no longer two halves of a whole. We are one. Keglin gasps, his eyes flying open. The black veins retreat, consumed by the silver light pouring from my hands. Color returns to his face. Strength floods his limbs. He gets to his feet, not shakily, but with a power that dwarfs anything he possessed before. He looks at me, and his eyes are filled with an awe and love so profound it steals my breath. I rise to stand beside him, our hands finding each other, our fingers lacing together. Our combined aura is a blinding inferno of white gold light. We turn to face the Shadow Weaver leader. It recoils, hissing, its form flickering as if our light is physically painful to it. We do not need to speak, to strategize. We move as one. I raise my hands, and a torrent of pure, concentrated moonlight pours from me, a river of silver fire. Kaelin stands his ground, a conduit, his alpha power taking my magic and giving it form, substance, and devastating force. The moonlight is no longer just a cleansing light. It is a spear, a sword, a tidal wave of righteous destruction. The Weaver leader shrieks as the light hits it, its shadowy form dissolving like smoke in the wind. The lesser Weavers, their anchor destroyed, disintegrate into dust, their chilling presence vanishing from the world. The battle is over. Silence falls over the valley, broken only by the weary gasps of the warriors staring at us in stunned, reverent awe. In the aftermath, justice is swift. Lyra and the handful of warriors loyal to her are brought before the Council of Alphas. For her treason, which endangered every pack, the sentence is exile. Stripped of her rank, and status, she is cast out, a fate she ironically escapes only because of the mercy I learned in my own banishment. I feel no triumph, only a quiet pity for a woman so consumed by fear she chose darkness. Kalen, standing before the assembled alphas, his hand never leaving mine, does something unprecedented. The title of Alpha King, as a sole ruler, is a relic of a flawed past, he declares, his voice ringing with a new, quiet authority. It led me to value pride over wisdom, power over partnership. I will no longer rule alone. He turns to me, his gaze soft. I propose a new way, an Alpha King and a Lunar Queen, ruling as equals, a balance of sun and moon, of earth and sky. There are no objections. The packs have seen our combined power. They have witnessed the end of the Shadow Weavers. They have seen a king humbled and a queen rise. They roar their approval, a sound of hope for a new era. 6 months later, I stand on the grand balcony of the Nightfall Great Hall, the very place my world was shattered. The stone is no longer cold and unforgiving. It is just stone. Below, the pack cheers, not just for Kalen, but for me, for their queen. Kalen stands behind me, his arms wrapped around me, his hand resting protectively over my gently swelling belly. The child within me is a product not just of a fated bond, but of a chosen love, a bond broken and reforged in fire and forgiveness. It hums with a power that is a perfect fusion of us both. He leans in, his breath warm against my ear, his familiar beloved scent of pine and winter frost a blanket of comfort. "My wolf," he murmurs, his voice thick with emotion. "He has been quiet ever since the day you chose me back. He's not howling anymore. He is finally content. He is home." I lean back against his chest, my own inner beast, my silver wolf, purring in deep, rumbling agreement. Ours, whole, forever. The scars of our past are still there, pale, silvery lines on our souls that map the journey we took. They are not marks of shame, but reminders of the pain we survived, the lessons we learned, and the forgiveness we earned. We are not the innocent, fated pair the goddess first intended. We are something more. We are scarred, we are tested, and we are finally, irrevocably whole.